All right. So we're going to start in child's pose. So take your knees wide and your arms out in front. Breathe deeply here. Ideally, you're in this pose for 5 to 10 breaths. And then slowly come up onto your hands and knees to tabletop. And now flowing through cat-cow for 5 to 10 breaths. So inhaling in one direction, arching the spine, and exhaling in the other. And inhale and arch, and look up, as we want to get the whole spine stretched here. Exhale and round. Inhale. And exhale. And again, this one for 5 to 10 breaths as well. Just until your body feels like you've kind of worked through all the tightness. And found that nice consistent flow. Good. And then come back to neutral. And from here, we're going to come up onto our knees. So this is where we get into the first posture for the thyroid. You're going to take your hands to your low back. And if this is too much on the knees, you can pad the knees or put a little towel underneath the knees if you're on a hard surface. And your toes are pointed back, your feet are parallel, fingers point down, and your elbows kind of squeeze in towards one another. Hard to see with this sweater on, but you're wanting to take a back bend here as your heart lifts and you reach back. You're going to take your elbows together, lift your chin up, and breathe. So the idea here is to keep the back of the neck long and open up the throat, open up this whole chakra here, Vishuddha chakra. The throat chakra is the color blue. So even picture that nice blue color here radiating from the center of your throat. And breathe into that space, breathe around that space, breathe beyond that space. Good, and then slowly come on out. Good. So just for a counter pose here, curl back into child's pose for a moment, knees together and round the back. Counter pose is for the spine, because that can be a pretty deep back bend here. And then coming up, and this next pose is more geared towards the digestive system. So you're going to take your legs at least as wide as the mat, and you're going to come down into this squat. It's called Malasana. Trying to keep your toes forward, feet parallel, and then your belly, the sides of your belly are rubbing just along the insides of the legs. There's this little compression happening here. And the positioning that your pelvis is, the position that your pelvis is taking is the optimal position for exit, for things that exit the body. This is why in Asian cultures, this is how they use the bathroom. This alignment here is exactly the position that we want our body to be in. It's with the least amount of things in the way. So we're just breathing here, Trying to relax the back, relax the hips. You know, there's a lot of muscular energy working here in this pose. We're trying to just feel as if everything is moving downward. Everything from the body, from the contents of the stomach and the intestines, all moving downward. This is a great practice to use when you have gas or when you're constipated. And then we're going to slowly come out. And a counter pose to this one is to straighten the legs into a standing forward fold. So just let your legs be straight. Grab opposite elbows and let your body hang. And we want give it enough time in that counter pose to feel like you've reset, like you've balanced the body. All right, so now we're going to come onto our back, all the way down for a supine twist. So this is another one for the digestive system. You're going to come flat on your back, draw your knees into your chest. And already here, this is great for the stomach. So as you pull your knees in, you can feel you're kind of pressing up against the contents of the digestive tract, your large intestine, all the way at the bottom here. So any of these positions where your knees are kind of compressing up against the belly are great. There's another one is a happy baby pose, or you can even take one leg in and one leg out. But for just so you know, all of these variations are great for the digestive system. But we're going to do a supine twist here. I really like this one because it not only gives you compression this way, forward and back, but it also you twist. So you're really helping any stagnant contents in the digestive tract move along. And you're doing that by massaging and compressing and twisting all of these organs here. So you're going to bring your knees in and over to the right side, take your arms out to the side into a T, and just taking this twist. Look to your left. And this one, as your knees open up to the side, you can feel a little bit of twisting at the belly here, at the low belly. Obviously a lot of twisting at the low back. But if the low back kind of gets tight from constipation and digestive issues as well, because it's all in the same region. So we want to address that whole area of the body. So take a couple deep breaths here. Good, then bring your knees back through center and over to the left side with your arms out to a T. And look to the right. Deep breaths. Good, and then come back to center. And you can always stay here a little longer, move around, hug it in, extend it out, and just feel into your body. All of that time you invest there is quality time for that relationship for the mind and the body. So feel free to linger there. And the last pose we're going to do is another one for the thyroid. This one's called Matsyasana, or fish pose. So you may prefer to have a block here, but we're going to try it without, because it is a little more advantageous without, if it's doable. So you're going to slide your hands underneath your bottom here, palms facing down, like you're going to be sitting on your wrists. Okay, so you just kind of shift your hips from side to side to wedge the arms underneath there, and your elbows are coming together so they're underneath you as well. You're gonna press into the elbows and lift your chest up. So the chest is lifting all the way up, and so you have enough room to take your head back and lower down onto the top of the head. Almost to the crown, a little bit towards the back of the head, but you're just gonna rest in that kind of that flat spot on your head, soft spot there, and then breathe here. So this one good for the thyroid again, focusing on that throat chakra. Visualize the color blue and breathe into that space. Breathe into all the muscles surrounding that, the base of the jaw, the collarbone, the shoulder. Just taking about 5 or 10 breaths in each one of these poses. 5 or 10 long, deep, slow, rhythmic breaths. No rush. Just tuning into any energies you feel in the body. To come out, you're going to press into your elbows and lift your head up. Release all the way out. Take your arms out. Turn your palms up for a moment just to take the counter pose there. A mini Shavasana here. Just enough to rest the body, reset, bring it back into balance. And then we're going to turn to our side and press up to seated. Come into a cross-legged position here. So we're ending our practice here in a seated meditation with a breathing exercise. So breathing exercises are often forms of meditation because the mind has to focus so much on the count and the breath work that it eliminates all those other distractions. So it's a nice way to focus. So we're just going to sit for a minute. Make sure you're comfortable. If you need to elevate your seat, you can. Crossing your legs in a way that's comfortable, in a way that allows you to lift up nice and tall with a straight spine. And then bring your attention to your breath. We're going to keep the mouth closed. And then we're going to inhale for a count of 5. Exhale for a count of 5. Inhale for 5. Exhale for 5. This time, inhale for 6. Exhale 6. Inhale 6. Exhale 6. Inhale for 7. Exhale for 7. Inhale for 7. Exhale for 7. One long, continuous breath all the way to the end. Inhale for 8. Exhale for 8. Inhale 8. Exhale 8. Inhale 9. Exhale 9. Slow, deep, long exhale. Make it last. Inhale for 9. Slow, deep inhale all the way to a count of 9, and then exhale, release it. Nice and slow. So we really have to regulate the in and the out to make it last to that count. Now we've got 10. Inhale for 10. Exhale for 10. Inhale for 10. Exhale for 10. On this last one, we're going to inhale for 10. And hold it at the top for 10. And exhale for 10. And hold it at the bottom for 10. Again, inhale for 10. And this time, open the mouth and one long exhale, let it out. Just sit for a moment. Namaste.
Oh,